Yeah, and it is a year that many have projected a paradigm shift on how humanity has been conducting their affairs. This is due to the breakout of the pandemic of coronavirus that has sent shock across the world. Tonight we discuss the government policy on food security in Kenya, and we are lucky to be joined by Honorable David Kiprono Sudi. Honorable David Kiprono Sudi is a former Member of Parliament, Marakwet West constituency, and he has served in 3 different ministries. That is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Trade, the Ministry of National Planning, and also he has served in different capacities as a leader in the House committees. We are looking into this matter simply because it is a primary obligation of any government across the world to ensure that her population has access to basic food. As it's happening here in Kenya, as we are facing this pandemic, we are hearing different information right away from the National Strategic Reserve Food Reserve Fund, that is Dr. Noah Wekesa, who said that grain stores are empty. Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture talked of there is no maize and that the government is planning to import the white and the yellow ones. We look and try to see where did the rain start beating us, especially being a country that is referred to as an agricultural country. Remember, we are also live on our Facebook, that is KAK TV Kenya. You can also engage us on our YouTube channel and also on our Twitter handle, that is KAK TV_Kenya. Power Brief begins tonight with a focus on this crucial matter of food reserve. Mheshimiwa, karibu to our show. How have you been?
I've been okay. Thank you very much for welcoming to your studio. And I'm very happy this evening that you are hosting me to so that we can discuss what's going on in our country.
Karibu sana. Now, many people who knew you as a vocal Member of Parliament, having contributed and being part and parcel of the architect of CDF together with Honorable Engineer Karue. People are asking, where is Mheshimiwa Sudi nowadays? They hear of the other Sudi.
Yes.
The real Sudi.
Now I'm the original Sudi.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that clarification. Here is the original Sudi. I was on sabbatical leave.
Yes.
But right, and you have resuscitated me so that I can be in the limelight. Exactly. But I've been praying in the background in the sabbatical leave that Kenya may come back to get to its the path which was originally meant by our forefathers, because there were 3 things which our forefathers, when they were fighting for independence, fought for. One was call it education, which is Uchinga, to eliminate it, which has been done through Minister of Education. Secondly is diseases, which has been done through Minister of Health. And the third one was poverty, maskini, which was never addressed, because as soon as these people went in, leaders who went in, they forgot about the masses. So they left the people struggling on their own. Yet initially, the colonial government had put in place things like KFA, which was handling the farmer, which were they were providing the basic the tools like fertilizer, maize seeds, and so forth. It was the farmer who was only farming to produce. So the government was giving out fuel for the tractors and so forth, and the seeds, the correct seeds. But over the years, people have come in with different types of different kind of seeds, which to the farmer you could buy, and then the production doesn't come out well.
We are coming into that, Mheshimiwa, and we actually appreciate your role, your profile, talking of having worked together with the Honorable Engineer Karue towards seeing that CDF comes on board. It's a fund that has been there since the Kibaki regime up to right now. In brief summary from your own analysis, having served as a Member of Parliament and as part of the guardian of this child CDF, how has the fund been utilized so far?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. When when I was assistant minister in Minister of Planning, Development, we're planning for this nation. That where did we go wrong in the first place? Where did the rain start beating us? We discovered that the rain started beating us immediately we got independence. Because we as God-fearing nation, because 99% of Kenyans are God-fearing nation, they worship God, the true God of Israel. And we found that we didn't follow the right path from the beginning. Because as soon as the leaders were there, the regional leaders, they went in, and once they fought, they got power. I think they only cared about within the square. They thought that maybe people were assisting. So we said, let us create a fund which will assist the people now. So, because we wanted to develop the community. Initially, CDF is Community Development Fund. Because we wanted to develop the people, so that when the people are now working, having business running, then they can easily even raise taxes for the government. Even if you are going to church, we'll have something to give out. But you see, and that's what we planned. And then when we were in Parliament, we brought up this thing because we're exiting from Moi's government to Kibaki's government. Now we used to have Harambee, and Moi used to give us money to go and do Harambee every weekend to reach the people. But during Kibaki's time, there was no one to give us money. So we formed that Community Development Fund, which later on translated to Constituency Development Fund. And we thought that we now be going to the Harambee on the ground, because that's what Wananchi was doing. Yes.
So has it lived to change the lives of the people as per your own observation so far?
It has somehow lived it does, because most of the development in many constituencies is being done through CDF. But the problem is the same people who are managing the CDF took the interest also to the local area, and you find that maybe half of the money disappears into people's pockets. The rest will go to the projects. So because of that habit of saying I, me, and myself syndrome, which is affecting Kenyans, because right from the start, I, me, and myself syndrome, that I want to outshine any other person, is happening.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa. Now we come to our topic, the food security. We've heard some of the comments from people. There are those ones who are saying, afadhali niende huko nje nikufe na corona, but watoto wangu wapate chakula. This actually brought that wake-up call. Even us in the media, we realize that it seems the government is not able to feed her population in times of crisis. As a former planning minister, is there any time that Kenya government has ever had surplus food for its population since independence in all the 4 regimes?
No, there is no time which the government has had food enough for the nation, because always they rely on importation and so forth. They have not taken seriously to let the people grow crops and fill the grain stores with food, and be able to buy the correct food. But you see, the problem is once they take this on their own advantage, that when there is a crisis, it's time to make money. They want to import things from outside. Yet we have, God has given us a country which full of all the resources. But people, because of their own selfish, they want to take advantage of a crisis. Yes. So, in fact, right now, Kenya is it is, I can say it is in the pit. Just you remember Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was in the pit, but God opened a way and brought in the pirates who were passing by, and then gave one of his brothers that why should we kill our own brother? Let's sell him to these people. That's how Joseph was brought out of the pit. So we need someone to bring Kenya from this pit, so that we can be like Joseph, who went to Israel, to Egypt, and saved the whole nation.
Let's go back to history briefly, Mheshimiwa. Looking at the North Rift part, that is even where you come from, Elgeyo Marakwet, proceed to Uasin Gishu, then proceed even to Trans Nzoia. There's a lot of maize that have been produced there in the past, apart from the epidemics of locusts and other armyworms and what have you. Now, why has it been very difficult for the government, including the government that you served in, to ensure that we have industries in the North Rift that can be able to mill this maize and avail it to customers at a lower price?
Yes, it all boils to the selfishness. The farmer is using expensive, the cost of production of producing this maize is high, and yet they want to buy at a lower price. Right now, to produce one sack of maize, it costs 3,500, and then at the same time you want to buy it at 3,000 or 2,500. So it means it is the farmer who is subsidizing. The people who are supposed to empower the people, the farmers, they are curtailing them. And there are so many middlemen here who have actually spoiled the whole market, everything. So you find that the farmer is so desperate, yet God give us a country which is so nice. And with the coronavirus, this is a punishment from God. It is good now, I'm talking from a Christian station. Let us use the Christian stations to reach the masses. And let us be doers of the word, not only hearers. The problem, we are comparing ourselves, with the body of Christ, is comparing ourselves with people outside who don't know what they are doing. And that is why I'm happy to come to Kaka, and I'll be going to all other Christian stations, so that we change this nation. It is time now we change.
Exactly. At the beginning, you talked of how the colonial masters used to do, and even post-independence, that the seeds for crops were only availed from one entity, and these seeds were quality, so that even if there was any problem, there was one body or one organization that could be charged or could take responsibility.
Correct.
Did that come to end at a particular point?
Yes, it came when people decided to use the leaders of the nation to untwist for their own selfishness. That's where the problem came in, because of people who are heading this organization. They were heading it with their own interests attached, not at the interest of the farmer or the ordinary person. And it is all is not lost, because we still live, we're still alive, and want to change. It is your generation now who can change this nation and be firm. I know these people have gotten ill wealth, and when it comes to elective post, they'll be giving you money and so forth, and then you elect the wrong person. I would ask you not to do that. Remember, in Egypt, when where the Israelites were slaves, God said, when he was performing the last miracle, or the last plague, which is the Passover, said, "You'll never see this. You'll never see the Egyptians again. But ask them to give you gold, silver, and everything. Then you'll go." That's how the Israelites goes. This time we need to be wise. If they give you money that you fought for them, take the money, and you know that we are going straight to Canaan. Yes.
Now, there's been this claim of a number of people, the so-called, they are usually called cartels. I don't know who are these cartels, that they usually hoard grains, and then now shortage comes in, and then they are deeply connected into authorities. Then they sell back to authorities even triple or even 4 times much higher. Have those cases been there with your witness?
Yeah, they are there because it is because of selfishness of the leaders who are there. Because people come in and try to talk to the leaders in authority to bend the rules for their own selfishness, just to make money out of. At the end, the result is to make money. Yet these people have been given that position with salary. They cannot live. With the salary as a means. They want to eat more from the people, and that's why we are failing in Kenya. Unlike other East African countries like Tanzania and so forth, who cares about their own people? And I think it's time to change now. Yeah, time has come to change.
Yeah.
Because 2020, 20 plus 20 is 40 years.
40.
So 40 years in the wilderness, we are going to cross River Jordan to go to Canaan. And God has given me that power to tell the people that this is the way to go to.
Exactly, which is why you're doing it on our show. That is Power Brief.
Correct.
Yeah. Now, Mheshimiwa, looking into this maize that Cabinet Secretary Munya is talking of importing, he has talked of 2 million bags. That is 1 million yellow and 1 million white. But those ones who are projecting, especially with these incidents that we're having of the corona, they are talking of we might need 15 million of bags up to take us until September. Which is the best? Looking onto mechanisms on how this thing can be corrected in the future, or going to import and then coming to sell into the people?
Yeah, I want to warn the minister that we don't need to import maize. You will be risking importing maize which has corona in it. People will be coming to eat maize with corona. Imagine that maize is from other places. Kenya has been safe if we didn't allow planes to come in, people from outside. And by the way, let me reveal to you that Kenya is second to Israel. Let me take you back to history in the Bible. The Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." If you look at the Bible, in Genesis 4:19, there was a man called Lamech. Lamech had 2 wives, one called Ada and another one called Sila. Ada is the lineage of Ada is Israel, the 12 tribes of Israel. The lineage of Sila is us Kenya, the 42 tribes of Kenya, who are living in the book of Numbers, that 5 or 6. There are 42 cities which were created by God, who told Moses, create those, this was the Levites. Levites are God-fearing people like us. That's why I say, a studio like this, which is God, which is attained by God, we should be the one now broadcasting. It has reached time now that we change. We liberate ourselves from mental slavery that we have been to cover all these years. Let us be wise and look beyond. Yes, we will change. Let me tell you one thing, which I ask myself. Ule mama linisa. So it's not the same mother which alisa wala wengine. Then why can you take it upon ourselves? We as Christians, that who is wearing the heart of Christ, who created us. Why can we be men enough and change the nation? Because if we go this way, we'll all perish. And I'll give you another story, because I like referring to stories. This is the 12th Parliament. The 12th Parliament, there is 2/3 gender rule in the Constitution. Nobody has implemented that. Yet, we took the Bible, we swore by the Bible.
The oath.
The oath. Either the administrator, which is the CJ, or the president who took the oath. And that is why this thing is coming to punish us. Because we swore by the name of God that I will do everything pertaining this. And yet we are not doing it.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. We go for a brief break, commercial break. As we come back, we'll be looking into the ways forward, especially how the government can intervene to see that we have policies, legislation, and laws that governs this crucial part of food security. There are people who say that we live to eat, and the others who say that we eat to live. Whichever way you understand it, it means that humanity must eat, or any living thing must eat. And that is why we found it necessary to bring a person with experience, someone who has served in Parliament and also in the Ministry of Planning, to help us and to bring ideas on how the government and authorities can plan to ensure that we have food in abundance. You can engage us live on our social media platforms, KAK TV Kenya on Facebook, KAK TV_Kenya on Twitter, and you can also stream live on our YouTube channel, and you can also engage us on our SMS number. Keep it on KAK TV. Tunatangaza kifo cha Peter Kareu Gatere. Ni mmewe Susan Kareu, ni baba wa Lydia. Marehemu na familia yake walikuwa wanashiriki katika kanisa la Deliverance Church Zimmerman, Nairobi. Alikuwa mkurugenzi mkuu wa Agro Deliveries Kenya. Ni baba mkwe wa Reverend Geoffrey Kenneth Mumira wa PCA. Alikuwa na ndugu na dada wengi. Mazishi tarehe 17 Aprili mwaka huu, Makutano, Mwea, County ya Kirinyaga. Kwa habari zaidi unaweza wasiliana na Reverend Mumira, nambari ya simu 0722788397. Kutoka KAK TV tunawapa jamii na marafiki pole. Tunasikitika kutangaza kifo cha Anastasia Njeri Njonde aliyekuwa akifanya kazi katika hospitali ya Kenyatta. Anastasia aliaga dunia Ijumaa siku ya Pasaka tarehe 10 mwezi wa 4 mwaka huu baada ya kuugua kwa muda mfupi. Ni mkewe marehemu Reverend Joseph Njonde Karanja, ni mama mzazi wa Joshua Karanja, marehemu Samuel Wanjohi na Francis Iganjo. Ni mama mkwe wa Esther Wanjiro na Nuria Iftin, alikuwa mjukuu wa marehemu Wanjohi Wakabi na Rose Wamboi Wanjohi wa kata ndogo ya Kahuro, eneo bunge la Mkurueni, kaunti ya Nyeri. Walizaliwa na Charles Mwangi, Simon Kariuki, Daniel Githinji na James Maina. Ni shemeji wa Bwana Nabii Gladys Mbogo Ngeshu na Bwana Nabii Mohamed Ibrahim. Alikuwa na wajukuu 4. Mwili utaondolewa katika chumba cha maiti cha Kenyatta National Hospital siku ya Ijumaa tarehe 17 mwaka huu, na baadaye mazishi kufanyika PCA Thogoto Cemetery. Kwa minajili ya kusaidia mipango ya mazishi, unaweza tuma usaidizi wako kwa Joshua Karanja Njonde kupitia nambari 0720258484. Kutoka katika chumba cha habari cha KAK TV tunawapa jamaa na marafiki pole. Mkurugenzi mkuu, wafanyakazi pamoja na marafiki wa KAK TV wanachukua fursa hii kutuma risala zao za rambirambi kwa ndugu, jamii na marafiki wa marehemu Susan Muthoni Macharia ambaye alizikwa mapema hii leo katika shamba lake huko Kiang'ondu, eneo bunge la Mukurweini, kaunti ya Nyeri. Mungu ailaze roho yake mahali pema peponi.
Every young person's dream is to achieve a goal and set a standard that raises the bar even higher towards the achievement of the set goal.
We should just all learn to be patient and just move with our pace.
As a young person, there are few elements that you need to put in place for your dream to pass.
The financial discipline that should be taught is to spend what you earn.
Join me, Francis Ngala, every Friday on YouthPad at 7:30 p.m. as I direct every beam of light to youth on the move and on issues that are affecting the young generation.
Many thanks for tuning in to KAK TV, and thank you for tuning in to Power Brief. We are discussing this topic of food security. Honorable David Kiprono, a former member of Parliament of Marakwet West and also an assistant minister in the Ministry of Planning in the national government, is here with us, and we are looking into ways on how Kenya can rise to the occasion and correct the ills in different aspects, and today with a bias on food security. Mheshimiwa, we've spoken about the ills that are committed by the citizens, by the leaders, and how policies, good policies are there, but they have not been implemented. In brief, as we come to the end of this discussion, what are some of the moves, some of the steps, procedures that can be followed to ensure that Kenya rises to the occasion and becomes a food secure country?
Oh yes, from my thinking is that we need to change.
Mm-hmm.
The people who have been leading us, they are tired.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a saying we say is, you cannot teach an old dog new tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Singapore. All those, they borrowed from Kenya. And Singapore is way ahead. The GDP in Singapore is very high. Yet we are languishing in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Why can we be wise and change?
Mm-hmm.
Who has kept you stuck in that mud for all this time?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm urging the youth of this nation,
Mm-hmm.
which is the cream of the country,
Mm-hmm.
we change.
Mm-hmm.
And God has given us a ways to change.
Mm-hmm.
Because God is using me, has used me in several ways. 19 years ago, I was involved in a road accident,
Mm-hmm.
which I lost 2 people. One was my brother and a friend. I was going to die, but God raised me up. I was in ICU for 21 days.
Mm-hmm.
And I was raised up. And I came back, and that's why I'm alive today. Because I want to show Kenyans the way to go to Canaan. With the passing on of President Moi the other day, the Spirit of God has brought back that we need to go to Canaan. Remember, Abraham, who was called from a town called Ur, U-R. U-R initially was for Uru Ruto.
Mm-hmm.
It took us from the town of Ur all the way until Wilderness Uko.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raila was supposed to take us to Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Raila, Ur is Uhuru Raila is taking us back to the seat of Uhuru. So it has cancelled. God has given us going to Canaan. The promise of entering of going to Canaan, God has brought us back in. You look at the symbol of Nyayo, the finger in Nyayo. His son called Raymond was holding that that staff. That staff, that R is Uru Raymond. So we are starting again from that town of Uru again to go to Canaan. God is calling us now. So we have to start to come back. Now God has given us a leader of political party called New Democrats. New Democrats, the symbol is a bridge. So when we reach River Jordan, we just cross by the bridge to go to Canaan. So the symbol has started. And the president of Kenya will lead us. That is President Uhuru Kenyatta will lead us, because so that what is written in the Bible, in the book of Joshua 10, come to pass. So I have that thing in stock, and I'll have it in soft copy. I'll give you so that we can discuss, so that this thing belongs to the church.
Exactly.
When the children of Israel were crossing the River Jordan, God told Joshua, let the Levites carry the Ark of Covenant. And when they stepped on the water, the water stopped, and there was a path going through. That's really the time now that we, as the church, has to wake up. We are leaving people to lead us who don't know even where we are going, because the things they are doing are not the right. So with studios that God has given us, we can reach the masses, and let us start.
Thank you
from here.
very much.
Yes,
Mheshimiwa.
I will not get tired. I'll be always coming, so that until these people understand where we want to go.
Thank you very much, Mheshimiwa Honorable David Kiprono Sudi. He is an elder who has given us his account, experience in government, that is in the executive and also in the legislature. He has taken us through the history of Kenya, what Kenyans can do, what the church can step up to offer direction to the ills that is bedeviling this country and far beyond the continent of Africa and the entire world. It's been an insightful moment, and we also appreciate your participation on our social media platforms. We will continue, and we endeavor to provide best content for you on matters politics, governance, law and history. And it's not the end of the day, because Honorable David Kiprono Sudi will still be coming here, and many more others, to ensure that you are updated, inspired, informed, and be able to be directed to the right channel. From me, Cornelius Omuse, from Power Brief Desk, I wish you a good night.
Are you deaf?
You deserve better.
The payment, yes, I'll send you shortly.
Boys, do your job.
Let me call my lawyer. Wait. Let me call my lawyer.
In other news now, the Anti-Corruption Commission has arrested several top public officials at the Revenue Authority. The commission also wants to get to others as it tightens its belt in the fight against corruption.
Sign here, here, and here.
The fight against corruption is just another phase of that corruption.
We need to be more careful with the mix.
We've been waiting for this promotion for 3 years.
Babe, some things just take time.
They want to receive the payment for the taxes, yeah?
I trust Mr. Manyara.
I have your back. I'm going to hold you to that, by the way.
If I go down, so do you.
Power Play every Thursday at 8 p.m. on KAK TV.
In marriage, it's death till death do us part. In marriage. But in dating, you have another option, and that option is called scroll, select, delete. And now you're looking at one crooked tooth, and your 2-year-old's got one little crooked tooth growing out. Oh my God, they're gonna need braces. I'm at the wrong church for this message. I'm at the wrong church. When you don't understand the nature of the battle that you're in, you use the wrong strategy. If you start with not enough, you end with not enough. If you start with El Shaddai, who is more than enough, you end with more than enough. But how many know that in marriage, sometimes the same opposites that attract, then the opposites start to attack? Amen. Amen. I can handle it. Covenant keeping, promise keeping, oath-making God.
Stephen Fatik. Every Monday to Friday at 10 a.m. on CAC TV.
Tangu mwishoni mwa mwaka jana, homa ya virusi vya korona yaani COVID-19 imeibuka kuwa tisho kubwa la kiafya. Maambukizi ya homa hii yameenea ulimwenguni kote, wala hakuna aliye salama. Serikali kupitia idara ya afya imeweka mikakati miongoni mwao ikiwa uchunguzi wa homa ya korona miongoni mwa wasafiri katika mipaka yake yote kote nchini.
I'm very happy about the screenings that are going on in Tanzania and Kenya. I think it's very proactive that you're thinking about stopping it at the border so that it does not spread.
Inatisha kufikiri kukohoa tu kidogo kwa mazingira haya unaweza sababisha mlipuko wa homa hii usio na kifani. Ili kuzuia haya, serikali imeweka mikakati tosha kuhakikisha usalama wa Kenya wote.
The facility has all the equipments you need from handling a basic patient up to ICU setting.
Hata hivyo, wewe pia unalo jukumu katika kusaidia kuzuia kuenea kwa maambukizi.
Members of the public are encouraged to remain vigilant as the risk is still high. Let's maintain basic hand and respiratory hygiene.
It's just our general hygiene, okay? And that now means at workplaces, we should ensure that our work surfaces are clean.
Always ensure that nimefanya proper sanitation ya mikono. Every time na board matatu, lazima ni sanitize mikono.
Sisi kama taifa tumepata kukumbana na changamoto nyingi na kali maishani, na kila wakati tumeibuka washindi. Hii homa ya COVID-19 hata kama inatisha, si tofauti nazo. Komesha korona, zingatia maagizo kutoka Wizara ya Afya, nawa mikono jinsi inavyostahili.
On today's episode of 700 Club Nigeria, faith over fear, how we should respond to the COVID-19 issue. 700 Club Nigeria starts now. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the program. It's a pleasure to have you tuned in. With the issue of the novel coronavirus being in full spate and the rise in misinformation, especially through social media, we thought to bring you verified information by speaking with a professional. So with us in the studio is a senior consultant, anesthesiologist, and critical care physician, former chairman, Christian Medical and Dental Association, Abuja chapter, and he's also the director of Anesthesia and Critical Care Medicine, State House Clinic, Dr. Philip Osagbovo. Thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Thank you very much.
Oh, we should shake like this. Nice to have you, doctor.
Nice to meet you too.
Welcome to our studios.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let me start by asking the very critical question. What is COVID-19, or better still, coronavirus?
In very clear terms, it's a viral infection, virus that has metamorphosed into pandemic proportions. An epidemic we started in Wuhan, in China, as we all know it, and started from their virology center, from what we gathered, and has since really spread far beyond China to every aspect of the world. And right now we have it in Africa, in Nigeria, and there are so many cases so many patients have tested positive to this COVID-19 infection. From what we know about it, it's a dangerous virus, and it can easily spread through contacts, through droplets, and the basic symptoms are those of any other viral infection, like general malaise, feeling of unwell, and then beyond that, critically, you have cough and fever, which are the things that, you know, easily can get to the person, and you can get to know that this person has the infection. You on your own can get to know it. And if you ask me, the basic thing to do with respect to this viral infection is to observe basic hygiene.
Okay, before we get to the point of what to do,
okay,
let's break it down.
Okay.
What, in clear terms, very simple terms for our viewers out there, are the symptoms of coronavirus?
Should somebody be infected with this virus, the symptoms that you should expect from the person, in other words, what the person should begin to experience, that's what we call symptoms. Things like fever and a dry cough in the first instance. It's not also uncommon for the person to also present with symptoms of general malaise, feeling of unwell, you know, tired, weak, more like what we mimic in our own contemporary setup, malaria. You know, you may think you have malaria, maybe complicated with upper respiratory tract infections, cough, catarrh. You know, it's some, not very common though. Some people have runny nose and they could sneeze from time to time, but fever and cough are the classical symptoms of coronavirus infection.
Okay, we've heard and we've read in some places that this is not a disease or sickness, I don't know which one is appropriate now, for young people, that it's more, old people are more vulnerable, or people with pre-existing conditions are more vulnerable, so young people really don't have any danger. Is it true?
Well, I would like to put some clarification across. When we say, it's quite true that if an elderly person, both age above 65 with pre-existing medical condition, talking in clearer terms now, the patient, if that individual has diabetes, he has a condition that could lower the immunity, cancer, or he may have suffered from bouts of pneumonia, or conditions we call, that's very common in the elderly, chronic obstructive pulmonary airway disease. If you have those underlying conditions, it's likely that if you get infected with COVID-19, that the complications can take that individual out. However, in younger people who are a little bit healthy, they're not likely going to develop complications from COVID-19 and die from it. All right? So I would say it's a disease that easily knocks out the mortality, that is the death rate in the elderly group, and those with pre-existing condition is higher compared to the general population. We're talking about the young now, the very healthy individuals. So if I just can take a ride on that, you know, maintaining a good state of general health, you know, proud to get in contact with the disease, nobody desires to get that, all right, it would keep you in a better state to get well. A lot of people are surviving it, especially when you are strong and you are healthy and you have a good immune system.
Okay, what COVID-19 has come with is a lot of fear.
That's true.
A lot of human beings, a lot of us are really not sure, especially with the way it is spreading and the numbers you're hearing every day, with the spike in certain countries and the number of deaths being